All right, everyone. Hello, good evening. I know I'm on here a little bit after I said I was going to be, but it's because storms really started to blossom and pop up. And we're going to be talking about these showers and storms as they move through the area. And I do want to bring you outside, too. We've had just a very scenic sky with some shell clouds, some strong storms moving through. So some flashes of lightning. These are below severe limits at this point. Some of these, though, could still bring some heavy downpours, gusty winds, frequent lightning, things like that. So definitely don't want to discount the fact that these will still be impactful, even if we don't have any warnings necessarily in place right now. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And if you are able to safely snap any photos, we are always appreciative of that. But do it safely. There's a lot of lightning with these storms, and I don't want anyone putting themselves in danger. But if you do snap a photo, the easiest way to get it to us and the easiest way for us to share it with other people is through the Wave Weather app. So you just scroll down to submit a photo because we have to approve it, and there's like a copyright clearance and things like that. And that's why we can't always share your all's photos immediately. So it's really helpful for you guys to give us for you all to submit it through the app. It's really the easiest, so we don't have to kind of wait around. So let's go ahead and dive right into things. We do have the radar. It's really lit up here within the last hour or so. We have this boundary that is from very distant storms that has been kind of lingering. And I mean, it has been lingering essentially. And it's really created just a burst of showers and storms across. First, it was near Lebanon and Springfield, Kentucky. That's where we picked up a lot of rain so far. And that's where we have that flash flood warning that you see right there. That was issued just a few moments ago, and it goes until about midnight. Remember to never drive through flooded roadways, okay? I know we say that a lot, but a lot of people do it still, even if we do say that. So I do want to zoom in and show you guys where some of these showers and storms are taking place. Again, if you guys have questions, I will try to do my best to get around to them, and let me know what you guys are seeing too. And if you're near these areas, especially anyone near Springfield, let me know, because that storm has really just parked itself there. It hasn't budged very much, and it's been dumping a lot of rain. I think there was a little bit of a hail core at one point, so something to keep in mind. Yeah, just let me know what you guys are seeing. It's always very helpful to get your report. So these are kind of fading a bit, honestly, almost as quickly as they formed. They're not terribly strong or, but they are a little robust. You can see how they've continued to kind of expand, but they are kind of washing themselves out. They're not really moving a whole lot. So we're kind of waiting for these to arrive in the metro, and they've formed off this boundary. And my only concern is that this boundary hasn't really moved. So places in Bullitt County, even northern parts of Hardin County, near West Point, that's where we could be picking up a lot of heavy rain over a short period of time on top of frequent lightning. If these storms don't move, especially, they're very efficient rainmakers. So that is why they're dumping a lot of rain over a short period of time. And again, if you guys are just tuning in, we're going to be talking about the storms moving through right now. We're talking about the radar. And we have more storms on the way from our west. So we do have some strong storms. They have weakened substantially. It looks like now there's only a few warnings, and those are going to be for areas near South and Central Kentucky, even west of Bowling Green, closer to Western Kentucky, I should say. And that's where the strongest of the storms are right now. So this has been a very complicated forecast, just being perfectly honest and transparent, but we are going to be expecting some of these to try and make it. They're going to be weakening. I think we'll be lucky if we do see some of these reach areas west of I-65, east of I-65, excuse me. But we are still seeing there is a severe thunderstorm watch in place for pretty much the Evansville, Terre Haute, Indiana area, their kind of coverage area. So just to our west. that's where we have a severe thunderstorm watch. And the Storm Prediction Center has said they're probably not going to shift that. They said it's unlikely that they bring that watch closer to us, because you can see a lot of the storms that were really going through places like St. Louis. We had wind reports and almost up to 80 miles per hour near the St. Louis area, but these are much weaker, which is good. And I know some people want the rain for their gardens, and we're worried about the severe weather. I think any chance of severe storms may clip a few of our counties, like Greene, Taylor, and Adair County. I feel like you guys always get the southern batch, but if this, and it looks like it might be hugging the Tennessee border a little bit more so. So Adair County, you might be the only one who gets anything out of this round, if at all. So if that trend continues, of course. So if you are just joining us, I know that the app just went off that we are tuning in. If you're just now tuning in live, we're talking about these showers and storms that have developed. It's created a really cool shelf cloud just south of the city. And again, if you guys have any sort of reports, especially near the Springfield area, it's going to be for Marion and Washington counties. That's where we have a lot of heavy rain. I mean, I'll take the radar scan back through, I think it was, it was around, I want to say 7:30-ish that the storm started to form. Yeah. I saw this little boundary and the little blip on the radar come up, and then you can just see how the storm has exploded over Springfield. It shifted a little bit to the south, but still it's dumping a lot of rain over the same areas over and over. And we're hoping that it can weaken and kind of wash and rain itself out a bit, but we still do have that flash flood warning in place. And again, it's going to be until about midnight. And if you guys have any reports and you can safely give them or send them to us, we are always, always, always appreciative of that. Okay, I am going to go through some of the comments. So if you're watching from Facebook and I think YouTube, you can leave a comment. Looks like a bunch of you guys are tuning in. Always appreciate that. So we have Mike Helton, who's tuning in as well. Katie says, I've had the Wave Weather app on my phone for a long time. Well, we appreciate that. We work very hard to bring you guys the best information. Let's see. David Coleman says, anything coming around the Borden area and Indiana? I think you probably will get a better shot at some showers and storms a little bit later on in the evening with this second batch that tries to move through, if this one doesn't catch you. In terms of severe weather, I see a lot of you guys are worried about it. Zach, okay, you're tuning in from Marion County. Okay, thank you for that. He says, let's see, I'll pull up the comment so other people can see. He says, how is there no thunderstorm warning in Marion County? Extreme winds, stuff blowing all over the place. So it can still be windy, even if it doesn't reach severe limits, if that makes sense. It can still be quite gusty. We have to have winds and upwards of, 55 to 58 miles per hour. I think the threshold is actually 58 miles per hour for it to be a severe thunderstorm. So we haven't had winds strong enough for that necessarily, but don't get me wrong, it has still been very windy and we've had a lot of heavy rain. So I totally get that. And that's a very good question to ask. I just don't think the wind field, at least from a radar perspective, was strong enough for us to report. So let's see. Good question. Lisa says, hoping Oldham County and LaGrange get some rain. I know a lot of people are wanting the rain. It's like we could never have just a perfect mix of we have enough rain, but it's not a total, rainy week. There's always a lot of back and forth. But oh no, Keith Hamilton says Lebanon is getting blown away right now. I'm so sorry. That is not good. I really, well, I'll tell you what. Not to sound super Southern, tell you what. There's a little bit of a boundary moving through Lebanon right now, and that's probably what you're feeling. Not a ton of rain just yet from the looks of it, maybe some light showers, but yeah, not really seeing, you're likely just seeing that boundary that has triggered these storms. I mean, you can see it just so perfectly lined up all the way from southern Indiana. So it looks like it's all the way towards Harrison County even. Near, it looks like New Amsterdam, Dogwood, Laconia, looks like that's where we have some of the heavier downpours too. Of course, near West Point, near Fort Knox, that's where the radar site is. You're dealing with a lot of heavy rain there. Then, of course, in Bullitt County, we have several lightning strikes kind of lining up with Bullitt and Nelson County, all the way down into Marion and Washington counties. And pretty much, I mean, it slices right through all of our 30 counties that we serve. So I do want to talk about also, I'll take a wider view, and I do want to turn on a separate radar for us. So that way we can get a little bit of a better idea of what we're dealing with. Okay. So you'll see near Evansville, a lot of heavy rain. Yes, it's not severe though. And there's a lot of lightning too. Still very impactful. So, we don't have to have severe storms for weather to be impactful. We could still see lots of lightning and heavy rain. We'll have to watch for that potential of some flash flooding, especially with this round that has developed and has sliced right through our counties. But near the Evansville area, I mean, it's probably just a deluge over that way. But really, the only severe storms we have are the ones that are to the west of Bowling Green. So it's going to take a little bit before they get here. It's probably going to be closer to, I would say, probably closer to about the 11 o'clock hour. So in this forecast, I've already said this once, it has been complicated, guys. So you got to bear with us sometimes on days like this, because it can get a little messy when it comes to getting into the fine-tuned details. So we appreciate everyone's reports and things like that. Oh yes, Kentucky Girl is what your name comes up. She says, don't forget us over here on YouTube. No, we don't. We actually really appreciate you guys watching. Oh, Amanda, thank you for that. That's good to know. She says it's pouring in Lebanon right now. Winds are crazy. Let's see. We have one of my coworkers. Oh, LA. He is a behind the scenes, very smart engineer who works here at Wave, and he is hysterical. He should have his own stand-up show. So he is also watching, so thank you. Augusta says, what about Bardstown? Bardstown, it looks like you are right on the fringe of seeing some showers and storms. So I'll try to zoom in. And it's kind of hard to touch base with all of your specific towns and counties and things like that. Let me switch radar sites or there we go. So it's a little bit more of a high resolution radar that we're looking at. So obviously the stronger storms are still to our west. They'll still pack a bit of a punch as they move through, even if we don't have any sort of severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see some of those brighter shades of green, and that is where in the radar site switches to near Terre Haute. So that little cluster of red, you see almost like a pink color, that's where the strongest winds exist. And there's a lot we look at in determining, the storm, whether it's strengthening, weakening. In all honesty, yeah, there's probably some really intense winds ongoing there, just kind of between Evansville and Owensboro, but directly north by several miles, right along I-64, but in Indiana, well to our west. So we'll watch that one closely to see if it can keep its act together. But the thing is, the sun's going down. I mean, we've had a ton of just instability, heat, humidity to work with today. We just haven't had necessarily what we thought was going to trigger the storms. They really took their sweet time, and now what we're left with is what we've got going on right now. So let me switch back to the radar site or the home view. And I'll try to answer any more questions you guys have, because I do want to go through the rest of the forecast. We have some lightning in Hillview that is going to be from this band we have that is just to your south. And remember, if you hear lightning, you are within striking distance. Lightning is something I do not mess around with because with most other weather phenomenon, you can tell when it's coming. And if you're in a good spot, you can usually do something about it. But when it comes to lightning, can still be very unpredictable. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. And Tina, I see your comment says, I sent a personal message via Facebook with drone footage. Would love to see that. I don't think I have a notification though from you. Did you send it to the Wave Facebook page or the Wave Weather? There's actually 2 of them. But I would love to see that. And actually, Nicole, I was actually thinking about you. You do not need to be overly worried for tonight. I mean, it will be probably kind of windy at times. Like there'll be strong storms, but they're not looking very spinny or tornado-y at this point. We're not really expecting them to. We haven't had a ton of shear to work with, which helps contribute to kind of the spin of some of these storms. All right, so I went through the radar quite a bit. I will circle back around here in just a couple of moments, but I do want to talk about the heat we've been dealing with today, because it's still quite hot, and that has been one of the factors in these showers and storms. We'll go through FUTURECAST too, and I'll pull up the 10-day. I did want to focus on the storms, of course, because that is the big story and what everyone's kind of concerned about, and rightfully so. I mean, it's a very dramatic looking outside from what we've seen so far. So yeah, that is gonna, oh wow, it's very dramatic looking in terms of our temperature map too. Sorry, there's like, I have quite literally probably 8 screens pulled up that I'm trying to look at. But that is, so that's why if I seem a little scatterbrained, that is why. Temperatures have cooled off though to the 70s and 80s for most of us, and that's gonna be due to this, for one, the sun setting, and two, a lot of these showers and storms beginning to move in. So most of us are sitting in the upper 70s and low 80s. A couple of cooler spots though, near Bedford, or excuse me, Seymour, Indiana, 75 degrees there. Evansville has dropped down to 72, 77 in Lebanon, where we have that shower near Washington and Marion counties. But hey, that, what you see to our west, that's some good news that we have coming our way in terms of better feeling temperatures, lower humidity. There's a lot to be excited about for the next couple of days. It feels like 96 right now in Bardstown. That's miserable. We've had some very high dew points today. I think we made it back into the mid 90s. I'd have to pull up our almanac to be totally sure about that. But I'll talk a little bit about too, what we use in helping us to, determine the forecast and we've talked about it before, and the kind of the guidance we use. And you can even see with this model in particular, one of the first things that we try to look like, we analyze the atmosphere, what's happening right now, of course, and then we look to our high resolution models or short range models. So they should give us some really good information because they're sampling the atmosphere and what we have going on right now, and it should give us some really good information about what's going to happen later or over the course of the next few hours at least. But even this one, you want it to look like kind of the radar right now, and it doesn't look like it at all. So that is one of the big factors we've been dealing with for today, and really over the last several weekends. We just haven't had a ton of luck, and we do our best. So hopefully the storms have held off for most of you. I know the Lou City game was tonight, and I don't know how many people were there, but hopefully the lightning, I think, is far enough away. I'll have to pull that up just to see on my phone so I can look at it at the same time. I think the lightning is far enough away that the Lou City game should be in okay shape. So that's good news. Hopefully, if you are there, you are staying safe and they have a plan in place too. It has been thundering, so gotta watch out for that. Okay, so we'll likely see a lot of this rain hopefully end after midnight tonight. Excuse me. We'll likely see a lot of the rain end after midnight tonight. We've been really having to take these models and this information with a grain of salt. Regardless, the good news is that once we start to see these showers exit, we're going to see a lot of improvements to the forecast, meaning our humidity levels are going to be much lower. This is tomorrow afternoon. We're still kind of in the humid range, but not nearly as bad. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s, I think, at best. A couple of us will try to make a run for the 90s. All in all, not too bad. And then by Monday morning, oh my gosh, it's going to be gorgeous. Much more comfortable, much less humid. I mean, we're going to be lots of blue that you see there. And then by Monday afternoon, almost all of us are included in that blue. And that means much lower dew points, which means lower humidity. So lots to be excited about. And it's going to be dry too. It's going to be dry too. So that's always good news. Okay, we have a couple more questions and a couple more comments, of course, and these are all from Facebook. So if you're watching from the app, you won't necessarily see the comments, but maybe someone is asking a question that you are wondering about. Let's see. Okay, so in terms of severe weather, it's not going to be a widespread severe weather outbreak. tonight. I mean, it's a very low risk that we even have any sort of warnings or any winds or hail. Those are going to be the primary threats we would see. It will be hard pressed to see any of those meet that severe threshold, because there is like a criteria, so a list that we have to meet in order for these warnings to be issued. And heavy rain, that falls under the flash flood or the flood warning category. So it doesn't necessarily fall into the severe thunderstorm warning, in case you're wondering. And that's how it's going to determine. So I want to make sure that we're being very clear about that. Oh, don't be scared in Louisville. They said, Dre says, I'm in Louisville scared. Don't be scared. Donna says we're in Springfield. We in Springfield are experiencing lots of lightning with moderate rain and occasional downpours. Not much wind at the moment. That's good to know. Thank you for that. I appreciate your report. All right, Nikki says, with the amount of instability in the air and with the storms popping up, will storms stick around for long? That's also a good question. So hopefully I answered that. With the sun going down, the instability is also going to go down a bit too. And we have rain-cooled air from the storms that are happening right now. And also, as these storms continue, I mean, we'll likely still see some rain, but again, these are going to be weakening and kind of fading away as they approach our region, which they already have done so quite a bit. So I don't think they're going to be sticking around for very long. In terms of the strongest of the storms, we'll likely have some great sleeping weather, if we're being perfectly honest. I know a lot of you guys are worried about getting some sleep, but I think it's going to be really nice sleeping weather. Just like a steady rain, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, nothing severe. That's after this initial line moves through. We of course still do have these clusters. Bardstown, you're kind of missing it, to be perfectly honest. But we still do have these clusters of showers and storms that we're dealing with right now at the moment. And that could create some problems with this system trying to make its way. It could, if they interact, that might create briefly some heavier downpours, some slightly stronger storms, or it might, with the rain-cooled air, as I was mentioning, it might just completely inhibit, if that makes sense, the storm potential. So I think we'll be in good shape. I really am not too concerned with this. I think the biggest concern is probably going to be the rain. So I'll pull the radar back up. Oh, I still have your comment up, Nikki. Like your last name, Meow. I'm sure that's not official. It's probably your username. But oh my gosh, Amanda, she says, I'm in Lebanon. We've had multiple trees fall onto homes. If you have specific locations for that, that would be really good to know. We always appreciate your all's reports. And of course, we want everyone to be safe. But that's really good to know if we've had that. So, yes, sorry, I keep getting sidetracked because I'm trying to keep everything straight and read your all's comments and take things as I go. Okay, so I'm going to throw up the radar one more time so we can get a good look at what's happening right now. Again, no severe storms for us right now. All we have is a flash flood warning, and that's going to be for Marion and Washington counties. And that's going to be, let me double check. That does include Springfield, does not include Lebanon necessarily. But we've had this boundary, again, I keep saying that, and you can really see just over the last couple of radar scans, I'll loop it. You can see this thin line, and then they just bubble up. And we do have a little bit of some radar clutter that's happening because they have it on kind of a high resolution setting for the radar, so we can get a better view of the storms, and the radar will scan a little more frequently too. So that is always very helpful. So the National Weather Service is helping us out. So if you see kind of that light greenish color, that's not anything to be concerned about right now. I am, though, looking at this storm that is, let's see, near Springfield, kind of it's near Manton. That's where we're seeing a whole lot of rain right now. Nothing that's jumping out at me in terms of like anything too crazy, but there's definitely some gustier winds right here in that. I forgot I have a little pencil I can use to show you guys. Right there, those darker and brighter shades of red, that's where we have some of those gustier winds. And so that's what we're looking at. Velocity means wind. And so this is helping us with determining the wind speed and direction. Some gustier winds as well, possibly just north of Radcliffe. Again, that's going to be near Fort Knox. We have a nice little burst of wind there. This little red spot near Rose Terrace. It's so close to the radar site that also can kind of skew what the radar looks like in a way. So that's also something you kind of have to take it with a grain of, yeah, it's a little skewed. Where you see all those lines and things like that, because it's not perfect. The radar science is not perfect, but it is very, very incredibly helpful for us. And we are very reliant on it, obviously. Let's see. Okay, you said Amanda Wheeler, Radio Road and Highway 55 in Marion County between Lebanon and Springfield. That was Radio Station Road and Highway 55. Okay, thank you, Amanda. That is really helpful. Did you see that specifically, or did you, I'm assuming you either saw it or you've heard about it from someone else. I hope everyone's okay regardless. Yeah, so, okay, right now, no severe storms. No severe storms right now. We might get maybe 1 or 2 warnings, but as of right now, it's looking like this system's going to be weakening gradually as it works its way closer to us. Still going to be seeing some heavy rain, though. Some of us will see heavy rain, a lot of lightning, so don't freak out if you hear a lot of thunder. If any sort of warning does happen over your area, if you have the Wave Weather app, you'll be in good shape because it will let you know if there is a warning in your area. Also, if you have a weather radio, you can adjust those settings to wake you up for either a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning. So there are settings on your weather radio that you can also use. But if you don't want to wake up, then that's your own prerogative, I guess. I don't think tonight is going to be just, again, a widespread severe weather night. I do think you'll be able to get some rest. It's going to be a little noisy at times with this first line that's moving through with all the lightning we have, but behind it, that is just plain old rain. And that is all the way from Owensboro to near Paducah. I mean, the stronger stuff right now is to our south and west. So it might even not hit us at all. So I'm feeling a little optimistic about our situation. So I hope you guys are feeling a little more at ease. Okay, thank you for that report, Amanda Wheeler, by the way. Hopefully those people are okay. Glenda Lucas, happy to hear from you. The wind, thunder, and lightning are intense in Bardstown right now, pouring rain. Okay, well, stay inside, stay safe. We do have that really intense downpour happening there, and I'll try to pull up actually our Bardstown Skytrack camera so we can get a visual of what's happening there. So I just pulled up more screens, so just give me one moment. It'll be worth it, I promise. It's already getting dark, so it's a little hard to tell, but I'll pull it up regardless. Had a ton of lightning. We've had amazing cloud structures tonight too. I took some photos. Oh my gosh, I pressed the wrong button. Bear with me. It should be switching over any second now. There we go. Yeah, looks like it's definitely rained in the. So there's some lightning too near Bardstown. Again, this is near the square, I believe, is what it's called in Bardstown. But yeah, some wet roadways. Just so if you have to be out in this, just be really careful driving. And especially if you have evening plans tonight, if you're like going out, especially near 11 p.m. or a little between 11 p.m. and like midnight, be really careful because that's when a lot of these storms will probably be arriving if they make it here. So just be prepared for the rain too. Let's see. Any more questions? Dre says, if it were to hit Louisville, is there a time we should be expecting? I think the best time frame right now, it's really going to be dependent on if this line that's parked itself, kind of slicing right through our viewing area, it's going to be dependent on if that expands a little bit more, if it shifts or budges a bit further to the north or the south. It looks like it might be moving a little to the south. So I would say probably near 11 maybe or 11:30 for Louisville. That's what I've been leaning towards for the majority of tonight. So I think that's going to be likely what we see. But okay. Let's see. Frankie Brown watching from Hodgensville. Thank you. Or Hodgenville. I always want to call it Hodgensville. But yeah, thank you for y'all's reports as always. I hope everyone stays safe. I want everyone to rest easy. If there are any storms that are bad enough, we will of course cut in as needed. We'll send you alerts on your app so you will feel prepared and not panic. I always try to say that, because we do not want you to feel panicked, and we don't want to freak you out and get too overexcited about these storms, because I really don't think these are going to cause us too many problems. So a couple of warnings will be possible. Again, we'll post updates. We'll post updates as much as needed. If I need to hop back on here, I will. But we'll, of course, be on at 11 o'clock for the 11 o'clock newscast as well. And we'll talk plenty more. The rain will probably be here for the most part by that point. So we'll have plenty more to talk about. I hope I answered everyone's questions, and I hope I put your mind at ease just at least a little bit. Because I know it can be really, really stressful when it comes to storms. I used to be like that when I was a kid. It's not uncommon. But I'll throw up the 10-day just for fun, because there's a lot of good news. This should make you feel good, because it's a really nice 10-day. Check out, we only have like 1 or 2 90-degree days on there. And then after that, it's going to be mostly dry too, better feeling weather. So yes, exciting news. I'm excited to finally talk about something good happening. But okay, I'm going to hop off here. That is the 10-day. I will have more on that coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. So thank you all for watching, for all of your comments, for tuning in and interacting. We want this to be an interactive space and be able to answer y'all's questions. So hopefully you have fun. You guys take care, stay safe, and we'll see you tonight back here at 11.